Alright, I'm at the final stretch of my horror movie marathon here. October 20, 2012. I decided to check out. Finally got around to this. AMC was playing it on, where they do Fear Fest every year. So check that out. They play a lot of horror movies during this time of year. I'm sure everyone that's listening to this knows about it. But anyway, James Whale returns. This is the direct sequel to Frankenstein 1931. James Whale, the original director, returns, and so does Boris Karloff as the iconic Frankenstein monster. One of the best makeup jobs for any horror movie. Um, I'd say the cinematography is very much improved from the first film compared to this film. It was made 4 years after the original, and based on another work of Mary Shelley. It's pretty interesting. The interlude, the prologue, opening scene of this starts off with the author that wrote the original Frankenstein novel, Mary Shelley, which is a woman. And basically she's having a small party at a house, and there's a storm outside, perfect setting to tell this tale. And they're feeding her compliments, and she goes on to say that that isn't the end of the story, and she basically freestyles the story in a tale about how at the end of the film we see that Henry Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein, the creator of the monster, ends up surviving the death of the fall from Frankenstein and the windmill, and then the villagers burn down the windmill, and it so quickly shows that they survive. And the rest of the script is just kind of patchy and random nothingness. I like the first one a lot more, even though this movie is well respected. I even see this like in the top 20 of people's top 100 horror movies of all time. Like, I've seen a few different lists where it's on there. Just search for them online, you might see it too. So that's why I've been dying to see this, but I wasn't that much impressed by it. A lot of it just has the Frankenstein monster on the loose, kind of like in the first one, except for he doesn't do it that much in the first one. He does the whole movie in this one. So it's just random nothingness of him just wandering around, swimming like Michael Myers in Halloween 5 with his floaties on, smoking and drinking with the blind guy, desecrating a cemetery. He was just kind of goofy in this, the Frankenstein monster. And then, so, Henry Frankenstein, the doctor who survives, who was in the middle of his wedding in the first film, another prototypical mad scientist, Dr. Pistorius, comes to town to convince him, let's finish what he started, to create life and to create a mate for the Frankenstein monster. He basically shares the same radical, blasphemous ideas as him. And Henry doesn't really want to do it, so then throughout the course he finally convinces him for the last 20 minutes of the movie to finally create the mate. So they hook up their 1930s equipment, even though it's set up in like the 1890s or something, and they create the iconic Frankenstein bride that everyone is so obsessed with. And it's only for a brief 10-second ending. And then what happens? It rejects him. Spoilers. And I'm going to talk about the ending now. So if you haven't seen it, go and see it if you want to. And he ends up burning down the whole house. He throws Igor like off the freaking castle wall, and then like the whole place just comes crashing down. Dr. Pistorius dies, of course, but Henry Frankenstein lives. He jumps out the back door. Even in the sequel, I don't think they even bring him back. They just do the guy who played him reprised his role, Colin Clive. He ended up dying in 1937. The next Frankenstein, the movie that they made, was Son of Frankenstein, if I'm not mistaken, in 1939. So that was another 4 years after that. And that story seems pretty interesting. It's the son of Henry Frankenstein. He comes back to the town, and I don't know what happens from there. I heard Bela Lugosi plays Igor, and Lon Chaney Jr. plays Frankenstein's monster. But I'm going to give this movie a C minus, 7 out of 10. Um, and this is pretty much all my thoughts on it. I'm JBM from VillainNews. Click on my channel for more. Send me a personal message if you want to talk about horror movies or whatnot. Or you could join my horror movie and comic book movie fans group on Facebook, Horror and Comic Book Fans. Search that. And I'm out.